Good morning, Appleby. It's almost a long weekend. I hope everyone is excited for Thanksgiving and a well deserved break. My name is Serita, and my chapel speech today is about finding peace with yourself and being content with who you are and what you do. I know, you're probably in your seat thinking about all the better things you could be doing right now: studying for your next test, filling out your university applications, talking with your friends. But I swear, this will be a good use of your time. To start, I want to first draw your attention to the multiple stained glass windows in the chapel. Take a good look at the window in front of you. They are stunning, aren't they? The natural sunlight that penetrates the colored glass, making the intricate details become more prominent. It's fascinating to think about the process behind creating these windows. How the artists who create the window had to mold and design each piece of glass and put them together in a fine and intricate way. In this way, each piece of glass is not just part of a larger piece of art, but a piece of art in its own right. Did you know the world's largest stained glass window has 2,448 panels according to the Guinness World Book of Records? Isn't it phenomenal how each piece is a testament to the artist's skill and craftsmanship? You, me, we only see the final product as one image, but the artist who created it had to handcraft each piece individually, one at a time. Keep this in mind. We'll come back to it later. Let's start first with the challenge. I challenge you right now to just breathe. Don't think of anything. Take a look around you. Seriously, take a look around. Take in where you are, how you're sitting, and how you're feeling at this very moment. Everyone got that? When was the last time you did that? In a world, or even a school, where we are constantly bombarded with new information, it can be hard to savor the moment and really live in it. Even if you are constantly running around and completing your next task and goal, you may have had the feeling at some time that you aren't doing enough. I know I have. This often causes us to compare ourselves to the other people around us and the stuff that they are doing. But as a result, this comparison of the other stuff that other people are doing can consume our brains and can sometimes even take our focus away from the amazing things that we are already doing ourselves. I want to share something my grade 10 history teacher, Miss Decker, once said to me that stuck with me till now. She asked me, "Have you ever taken the time to celebrate what you have already done, Serita?" I didn't know how to answer. I never thought about anything along the lines of that. I said to myself, "Celebrate? Celebrate? What was that?" In the moment, I contemplated. What was there to celebrate? I was just doing what I thought the people around me expected me to do. Besides, there was no time for celebration because of all the other things that I needed to complete. In that moment, I came to a huge realization, like a light bulb moment. I recognized why I never celebrated my own accomplishments, big or small. It was because I was always worrying about whatever came after, sometimes even worrying about the next thing before the task at hand had ever begun, strenuously stressing over every little detail. In reality, little details that you and I stress about are blown out of proportion when looking at the bigger picture. If I could tell my grade 10 self one thing, I would tell her, yes, there is so many things to celebrate, and they are definitely 100% worth celebrating. For instance, I realized I overlooked a pretty significant accomplishment in my own life. For me, the biggest hurdle that I conquered, I would say, was the one that I was living in. I was living away from my family, 13,000 kilometers to be exact, in a new country and a new school, trying to find my ground in a new environment and get a grasp of the new situation. Thinking back to even grade 9, I remember the first week of orientation, first week of life here at Appleby. It was one of the hardest. I had to rely on myself to overcome the feeling of homesickness and navigate this new place. Learning to deal with that feeling and getting through that first week is definitely a win for me. However, I never thought of taking the time to celebrate overcoming that obstacle. I feel the nostalgia part of my brain creeping out right now, but looking back, it's crazy to think about the first week at Appleby compared to where I am today. Even though I may not have changed physically, as some might say I even look like a middle schooler, but I know I have definitely grown and changed internally. Whether those memories of fun or hardships were related to academics or other parts of my life. In retrospect, I realized that every small moment has contributed to making me who I am today. And in that regard, every moment is worth celebrating. I now ask you, have you ever taken a moment to celebrate your amazing accomplishments? I know every single person in this room has had their own infinite list of achievements to celebrate. We, as a community, also share many collective accomplishments. Getting into Appleby, going up to Temagami, even getting out of summative and exam week alive, because we all know how that was like. New students aren't you in for a treat. But what we don't share is the huge list in the back of our minds, which consists of the individualized ways each of us has taken our stance and tackled challenges and accomplishments of the many, many things in our lives that we carry with us and should carry with us proudly. Charlie Lloyd said on X, formerly Twitter, "No one but you knows how hard you work, so rely on yourself for approval, not the outside world. No one can celebrate your own accomplishments as well as you can. In fact, it is scientifically proven it is beneficial for you to celebrate your accomplishments. When you celebrate your small wins, your brain releases your happy chemical, dopamine, the feel-good hormone. Dopamine also helps you become more productive, increasing your oxytocin and endorphins, but decreasing your levels of cortisol, which are responsible for your stress. So, not only does celebrating your small wins make you feel better, it also makes you feel more productive so you can continue to collect those wins. Studies have shown that people who regularly take time to acknowledge their achievements are more likely to feel happier and perform better in future tasks. When we don't take a moment to appreciate our own little accomplishments, we forget to live in the moment. How many times have you been in the middle of a task and started thinking about the next one before you even finished the first? How many times have you worried about what was to come before something even begun? To learn to live in the moment is to learn to live with yourself in that moment. It means to learn to be in the moment in which you are right now. It never hurt to give yourself a little pat on the back. Felt good, didn't it? I'm not telling you to stop pursuing the next challenge or take the next step. I'm asking you to acknowledge the many trials and tribulations that you overcame to get you where you are right now. There's a Chinese proverb that translates to, "Do not fear going slowly, only fear standing still." This powerful message reminds us that every step forward is a step forward, no matter how big or small. It prompts us to celebrate each achievement because it brings us closer to where we want to be. Let's go back to the stained glass window. See, I told you we were going to talk about it again. Take another look. This time, look at every single piece of glass that was made by the artist. Each piece deserves the praise and recognition for the craftsmanship that it took to make. But at the end of the day, most of what we see is just the whole window. Only the artist saw each piece as it was being made and experienced the feeling of accomplishment that came with every piece. The artist also saw the pieces of glass that were flawed or did not come out the shape that the artist intended for it to be. However, at the end, the artist was able to mend the imperfect pieces or even find ways to incorporate the abstract shapes as part of the journey to completing the whole. Similarly, in our own lives, the path you are on may not always be a smooth journey. There will be highs and lows, good and bad, hard times, and easy times. But just like how the artist did not let the imperfect pieces stop the whole window from coming together, we too can embrace the moments of challenge in our lives as part of the bigger picture. Every experience, whether a success or setback, helps shape us to who we are, finding comfort with that version of ourselves. I'm telling you, just like there is time to gaze at these marvelous window displays, there is time to give yourself a pat on the back. There is time to take a moment and relax. There is time to celebrate you. I want everyone to close their eyes for a second. Think of today, your short morning, and your journey getting here. What is one thing that you can celebrate about yourself? It could be getting out of bed this morning, not being late to class, making it to the first long weekend of the school year. The list is endless. I also challenge you to share your achievements and then celebrate the achievements of the people around you too. When we collectively celebrate each other's wins, we foster an environment for support and encouragement instead of competition and bitterness. It helps us to know that we are not alone on this journey, and we have this amazing community behind us to support us. As you leave chapel and go about your day, I challenge you to take just 1 minute to reflect on something you've achieved, big or small. Reflect on it, celebrate it, share it, and let that piece of your journey contribute to the full masterpiece that is you. Thank you. Now please join and sing hymn number 418. Draw a circle wide.